Thank you for joining us on this episode of EideCast. Is this thing on? I'm Mary Weiss, and I'm here with Steve Eggebraaten.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So starting out right away, what do you do?
I'm a sales manager at the Honda store.
Okay. How long have you been there?
I've been at the Honda store for 4 years, a little over 4 years.
Okay.
I've been with Vern Eide for 10.
Okay. What did you start when you started at Vern Eide? What did you do?
I was a GM at the Acura store.
Okay. Just started at GM right
Yep.
away? Very
Yep.
nice. Did you have previous car sales experience?
Yeah,
or
I
how
spent
did you...
I spent 13 years with Pontiac Cadillac. We had Saturn, Hummer at one point in time. Then we ended up with Mercedes and BMW, and that's kind of how I got started in the Vern Eide organization. I met Justin Lake through that whole transition.
Okay, very nice. What did that kind of look like getting to Vern Eide then?
It was a bit of a process. Justin worked with us when we took over Mercedes BMW over there. So it was Mercedes, BMW, and Cadillac. And Justin came over to help with the transition. And Justin and I became friends through that whole thing. And there was some stuff going on with Vern Eide. Sioux City was opening up, so they needed some help. And with the work we'd done together, we put that together, and I came over to start with the Acura store.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about your job?
The people.
The people?
Yeah.
Okay. Your coworkers or the customers or a little bit of both?
You know what? A little of both.
Okay.
I really enjoy making people happy. One of the things that I used to take personality tests all the time. Those personality tests kept telling me I'm a people pleaser. And I kept saying, no, I'm not a people pleaser. That's not who I am at all. So I'd take another one. Next thing you know, I'm a people pleaser. So finally I accepted it, that I want to make people happy, and it kind of works with my job. Mm-hmm. I get to make customers happy when they get into their car buying experience. I get to make salespeople happy by trying to make their day and making them have some income.
Okay. Did you, when you say you took personality tests and stuff, did you do the Enneagram and
I did disc profiling.
Okay.
I've done a couple other ones too, and I can't remember their names, but I took disc about 4 times because I didn't believe it was true.
Which one would that have put you at? That a C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just always like to know because I like to take personality tests too. Where did you grow up in Sioux Falls, or where did you grow up?
I was born in Napa, California.
Okay.
I grew up in Sioux Falls. And when I graduated high school, I went to college, left, and then I moved down to my then girlfriend, which is now my wife, and I moved down to Florida for a couple of years.
Okay.
Something different.
Where'd you go to college?
University of Nebraska for a year.
Okay.
They told me I was blowing the curve and I had to leave, so I ended up at University of South Dakota.
Okay. What did you go to school for?
Healthcare administration.
Okay.
Here I am.
Day to day?
Yeah, that was I don't know. I thought that was when hospitals were kind of looking for things, looking for people, and they were becoming corporate more or less. So I thought that would be something to do. Mm-hmm. But I ended up doing other things after that.
Yeah. How long did you live in Florida?
A couple years. So when I was at the University of South Dakota, I was also working part-time at Hillcrest in Yankton. And when I was over there, I ended up teaching golf at the University of South Dakota. So it was really weird, but my wife took the course, and that's how we met.
Okay.
So then we moved to Florida, and I tried to play golf for a living and taught down there.
Okay. With playing golf or trying to play golf for a living,
Yeah.
what does that look like for you, I guess, or how is that?
I wasn't very good at it, but it was fun. And we did 10 years of doing that, 10 or 12 years. Tried to plan some mini tours, mostly supplementing my income by working in pro shops and giving lessons.
Okay. Do you still like to golf on your free time then, or?
I still like to play. It's great for relaxation. I go out there just to have a good time.
Fun. Does your wife golf as well,
Yep.
or? Okay.
Yeah, she does.
And you have how many kids?
2 kids.
2 kids. Do they golf too?
Yep. My daughter played golf for St. Cloud State.
Okay.
And my son played for University of Sioux Falls.
Very nice.
My son's still kind of in the golf business. He works for the Sanford International Golf Tournament.
So you have your wife?
2 kids.
2 kids.
And a granddog. My daughter is married. She's got a husband, Dan, who's an awesome guy. Mm-hmm. They played golf together up at St. Cloud.
Okay.
So we have a lot of common ground in our family.
Yeah. Nice. What is your why?
My why?
Yeah.
Why I get up in the morning and go to work is to provide for my family. What I like to do when I get to work is I like to grow people. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get these young guys that we're working with to be the leaders for our company. Mm-hmm. They are the future of this company. I'm old. I've been around for a while. What I'm looking for is somebody's got to replace me before I can go move on. I'm not looking to move on anytime soon, but somebody's got to get there.
It takes time to build that.
Yeah.
So you have to start as soon as possible, really, I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah. And you got to find the right material. Somebody who's willing to put in the effort and then put in the work. So
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
What are some like qualities that someone you feel like are very essential to be successful?
You know, you look at the Eide effect, look for the greater good. That's really what you got to be looking for. People who are in this business for themselves are great salespeople because they're going to go out and they're going to make all the money. And they're going to take care of their customers. They're going to have a great customer base. But the people who are in this thing for growing the company, that's what you kind of got to look for, and that takes a special person.
Absolutely. What are some different things that you've noticed about Vern Eide compared to other places?
We've done a 180 since we've become employee owned. You know, when we do hire people, we're hiring a little differently. We used to hire people, you bring 4 in, hopefully one of them makes it. Now we want to bring 1 in, hopefully that one makes it. So it's a little different. You don't want to just bring a whole bunch of people in to ruin the culture. And culture is a big thing at Vern Eide that I think is a game changer. We're providing an environment that's a safe environment for people to come to work in. They feel like they've got support to do their job. They feel that people around them are going in the right direction. And that's what I feel this company's all about.
Okay. What is something in your job that you didn't expect to have happen or occur?
You know, I've been doing it a long time. I guess nothing really surprises me too much anymore.
Can you pinpoint a time where you're like, I did not think that was going to be that was not my job description. I did not think that was going to be part of my.
Yeah, well, plunging toilets was not in my job description, but I've done that a few times.
I guess someone needs to do it.
Yeah, not my favorite thing to do.
I feel like that's probably not a preferred job by most people.
No. You know, and I guess through the evolution because I've been doing this for 23 years, just the different HR things that have come up over the years, it's different now. You got to handle yourself a little differently. A lot of documentation that I didn't expect.
That's fair. When you're not at work, what do you enjoy doing?
I enjoy spending time with my family. I enjoy playing golf, and really it's just hanging out with my wife's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Because I'm an empty nester. Kids are both out of the house. My son still lives in town, and Ashley lives up in Minneapolis.
What do you and your wife enjoy doing?
Going on walks. She likes to go for walks. So we go for walks. We'll go play golf. We'll go out for dinner.
Okay. Do you have a favorite place to go?
You know, we're trying to find that favorite place.
Yeah.
Tinner's has always been kind of a nice place to go.
Yeah. Okay. I don't disagree. Do you have a favorite thing there, or do you switch it up every time?
Switch it up every time.
Don't know if you don't try it really. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of adventurous.
That's good. Do you when you say adventurous too, do you try other like culture of food too, or?
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah, different. I try to try a lot of different cultures, I guess.
Okay.
So, you know, I like Mexican food, traditional American food, Italian food. Although I'm eating gluten-free now, so.
Oh, are you?
It's hard to find the pastas.
Yeah. Did you live in Florida prior to coming to Sioux Falls? You said.
No, I was in California. I was born in California.
Born in California.
Moved to Sioux Falls.
Then
I went to Vermilion. Then we moved to Florida, and then we came back and lived in Yankton.
Okay, so you went to Florida with your wife, though?
Yep.
Okay, girlfriend at the time.
Yep, she tried to caddy for me.
Okay, and then do you guys still like to go to Florida now, or?
Yeah, I just got back last week. I'm sure Alex told you.
Yeah, that's maybe why I asked. Do you have a favorite place in Florida to go?
We've got my family's had a place in the Keys since the 60s, since before I was born. So my dad's down there right now. It's been pretty special for our family.
Very nice.
Yeah.
How often would you say you go down?
3 times a year, maybe.
Oh, nice.
2 to 3.
Do you try and save it mostly for the winter, or do you kind of just break it up throughout the year?
You know, we went in the spring last year, and it was hotter in the 80s. It was like 115 heat index. I'm not real sure I want to try that again.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you mostly golf out while you're down there, or do
No,
you
fish.
like to fish?
I don't play much golf at all.
Okay,
I do mostly fishing.
Feel like you can golf here. Why not fish while you're there?
Yeah, there's like one golf course down there, and it's not good at all.
Okay.
The property's so expensive, they're just putting houses on them.
Okay. Do you fish in town too? Or?
I haven't fished in South Dakota for a long time.
Okay.
It's mostly I like ocean fishing, saltwater.
Do you have a favorite? Do you like to eat the fish then?
Yeah.
Or do you have a favorite type?
I like grouper.
Okay.
And yellowtail.
Okay. Very
They're
nice.
kind of my favorites.
Would you say that you are more of a books, movie, or music person?
I would say music.
Music? What are
Yeah.
your like top 3 artists or top 3 genres?
That's kind of, I've got a whole bunch of stuff, I guess. I like country.
Okay.
My favorite band is Kiss.
Okay.
So I've seen them in concert quite a few times. But that and Guns N' Roses is a good band. And I kind of like all the country stuff that's out now.
Okay. If you could pick one concert to go to, like someone said, here's free tickets, which one would you go to?
Um,
And it could be current or past. It doesn't have to
Current
necessarily.
or past.
Yeah.
Now we're really going. Probably Metallica.
Okay.
I'd like to see them. I haven't seen them.
You haven't seen them. Didn't they come to Sioux Falls recently?
They may have.
Or no, I think they were in the cities. Now that I
I
say
think
that.
it was the cities. They played
Okay.
at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. Got a little mixed up there. Okay. I have a list of some random questions. So you get to decide your fate here. Number 1 through 65. Pick a number and I'll ask you.
Oh, 32.
32. Which phone app do you use the most?
Unfortunately, it's probably work. I use the vAuto one quite a bit. I got a thing with myself. I'm trying to keep my screen time to under an hour
Okay.
a day. So I try to stay off of social media as much as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Instagram if it's social media.
Okay. Do you have like the little thing set on your phone that reminds you if you've hit that hour?
No.
Or
Didn't know they had that.
yeah, do you have an iPhone or?
Yeah.
I can help you.
All right.
It's kind of nice because you can, like if you're on your phone, you can set limitations per certain app, or you can also set it like per phone or like for your phone for the day total. Okay. But you can like dismiss it too, I think, to a certain extent too. So.
I'm trying self-control.
Yeah, that's fair. I had to delete the app when I was in school just because I spent so much time just scrolling, and it was like, it was doing nothing productive with my time. Like I had so many other important things to do. So
Yes.
I get it. Another question.
41.
41. Why are pizzas usually round?
Because they spin. They spin them when they make the dough.
That so I did Google this question because I was like, I don't know. That is one of the answers is because of the because the way they toss the
stretch
dough.
them and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then another was for like heat distribution or something like that. Even cooking, I think I saw. So,
Interesting.
but I'm happy that you knew that answer because I had to Google it. I was like, I don't know. Why are pizzas round? Do you like to make pizza or have any experience with that?
I've made pizzas in the past, but not very often.
Not very often. Okay. What are your like go-to toppings?
Pepperoni and jalapeno.
Oh, that's one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
So can't go wrong. Do you generally like spicy food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That might surprise people.
Next number.
17.
17. What is your all-time favorite food?
All-time favorite food.
Like if you had to pick kind of your last meal, you got to determine what it was from
I really like Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
What's
the
your favorite
traditional
part?
turkey stuffing and mashed potatoes.
Okay. What's like the drink to go along with that one?
Miller Lite.
Kind of picking that one. Do you have like a Thanksgiving like dish that you prefer to make?
No, just I like the traditional stuff.
Okay.
So I just kind of help out with my wife.
Okay. Very nice. Do you generally host Thanksgiving or are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. This year we're kind of on our own. I think we're going to go to the Rush. The kids both
Ooh.
have other places to go, and the Rush does a fundraiser that day where they give you the food, and then you just give them a free will donation.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be nice to try, especially if it's just kind of you two.
Yeah.
It's a lot less cooking or like clean up after. And
Yeah, it's pretty
time
easy,
and-
and you get to watch football and eat
Yeah.
turkey.
Yeah, you can't complain about that.
Yeah.
Go for another question.
Oh, 25.
25.
What are the odds I'm going to pick one I already picked?
So far, you're doing all right. If you could know the future, would you want to know?
No.
No?
No. Just like when we had our two kids, didn't really want to know what they were.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer just to let life kind of happen rather than know what's going to happen next. Because I don't want to live in fear of something.
I say, do you feel like if you knew what were to come, like you would change how you'd get there almost, or?
Yeah, probably would. If I knew what was coming next and I didn't like it, I'd probably try to alter it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the trial and error stuff.
It kind of makes you think like you're getting into this loop of, oh, I know what's going to happen, so then I'm trying to change what I'm doing, but then is that what causes me to get where I am? So,
Yeah, and that probably created anxiety too.
yeah, just kind of that knowing what, and yeah, that's fair. If you could go back into the past at all, would you want the opportunity to revisit the past, or do you just kind of like living in the present? And
I got plenty of mistakes I made back then, so that I might want to change. But no, I wouldn't change anything that I'd done in the past. It got me to where I am. Every single thing that I did right or wrong, then got me to the point where I'm at now, and I'm very comfortable where I'm at now.
And do you feel like those have all kind of been growing experience or like learning experiences from all those mistakes?
Yeah, I think they have been. If I haven't learned my lesson yet, it's probably not going to happen. But I think that, like I said, this has all gotten me to the point where I'm at now, and I'm happy about that.
So how did you get started in the car industry?
So I'm actually a third generation in the car business.
Okay.
So my grandfather was in the car business in Chillicothe, Ohio. And then he ended up moving to St. Paul, and he worked for a guy named Win Stevens up there. And his Buick rep, interestingly enough, was Vern Eide.
Oh, really?
And Vern helped him get the franchise in Sioux Falls. So my grandpa was a Pontiac Cadillac dealer in Sioux Falls before Vern got here, but Vern told him about this place opening up. And then my grandparents used to play cards with Vern and his wife.
Okay.
Quite a bit. And my aunt actually babysat for Bruce and Brian. So that's a small fact.
I say small world.
Yeah. Then as I got older and I was trying to play golf and work in the golf industry, I would wash cars in the wintertime.
Okay.
So I'd drive from Vermilion up to Sioux Falls and wash cars and drive back and wrecked a car. It wasn't the easiest thing. But yeah, then I started off selling cars back in 2001.
Okay.
So I sold cars then for a couple of years, moved into the finance office. Then I became a sales manager. Then I became the GSM over there, and then transitioned through a couple different franchises. But it's been all fun.
Very nice. Do you have a favorite job that you've held overall, or?
Actually, the instant gratification of cleaning a car is something that I liked.
Okay.
You clean a car, you walk away, you look at it, and you can tell what you've done. Mm-hmm. And you can see, and when you turned it over to somebody who was buying that car, and they saw how nice and clean that car was, kind of made your day.
So with kind of trying different positions, there are obviously still a lot that you haven't tried.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you find interesting that you would want to try, even just for like a day?
Well, I know I'd be a terrible technician. I don't know how to fix anything, so that would be a bad one. I guess it's an interesting question, especially in this company. There's so many different spots in this company. Probably maybe service manager.
Okay.
Kind of dealing with customers and technicians. Those guys do I've been back in that world, but I've never been in charge of that world, where you have to come up. You've got 3 different customers as a service manager. You've got your service writers, you've got the customers, and you've got the technicians. You got to find a way to make a mesh in that whole thing. And I think that's an interesting position.
Do you always feel like you've kind of been called to a management position, or is that something that you really had to like work towards?
I always thought I would be good at it. When I was selling cars, I ended up doing a lot of turnovers for the other salespeople, just trying to help them sell the cars. So that's kind of what wound me up in the position where I'm at. Just trying to learn the next step every time, get a little bit further along in my career.
Okay.
And never quit learning.
When the day comes, I know you said it's not for a while, but when that day comes that you are no longer working, what do you see your time being?
You know, I've talked about it with my wife a little bit, and probably spend some time in Florida. And I'd actually probably like to be a volunteer coach for one of the college golf teams.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun to get back to teaching young people and helping them get their careers going.
Do you feel like coaching has tied into where you are with your?
I do. I really feel like that my past experience with teaching people to play golf has taught me a lot of ways of talking to people, trying to get my point across to them and learning the different ways to do that.
Because I'm sure there's like a lot of different people who accept coaching in different ways. Some like a more direct approach. Some might need a little more.
Yeah, some learn by watching, some learn by doing, some learn by being told what to do, some learn by studying. And that's just the same as it is in this business too.
So with golfing, and you say trying to be a golf pro.
Yeah.
What are some accomplishments you've made in your time as a golfer?
I won a Nebraska PGA section event when I was quite young. I've had 6 hole-in-ones. I've actually had a hole-in-one every decade since the 80s.
Really?
So it's been a long time. I was with his uncle when he had a hole-in-one.
Who's his? Jordan?
Yep. Yeah, he was a member down in Yankton when I was down at the country club down there. So
Okay.
I played a lot of golf with him.
What are so if someone wanted to get into golf, what is a tip that you'd have or advice for them?
It's time consuming is the big thing, and what I would do is make sure that you get a little bit of help, some lessons before you get started. Otherwise, it gets frustrating.
Okay. What's a common mistake that you feel like people make with it?
With golf, they expect high expectations, I guess is the best way to say it.
Okay.
They expect more than they're capable of. I'm that way too. I expect to play like I did when I was in my 20s, and that ain't gonna happen.
Do you think no, I was going to ask, do you feel like golf is like 100% skill, or do you think there's some luck to it?
There's a lot of luck to it. For me to have 6 hole-in-ones, that's kind of crazy.
Like maybe the right gust of wind came up right at the time, or like what type of
One time I hit a sprinkler head and it went in, so
Okay.
there is some
Probably
luck.
weren't necessarily aiming for that.
No.
Okay. I always kind of wonder, because obviously there is a lot of skill and
Repetition's a big thing. And just
Yeah.
like even in sales, repetition's a big thing. If you can repeat your process every time, you're going to get results that are more consistent.
okay. Is there anything else that you want to share about you or your job or the company?
You know what? These are the best years of my life. I'm working with young people that give me energy. I'm still learning my job as I go, and I've spent years doing this. And as long as I can continue to learn and enjoy the people I work with, it's a great place to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Steve, for joining us on this episode of Is This Thing On? And thank you for tuning in.